Namaste, hello friends, and welcome to this special educational explainer. If you're running a factory, maybe managing a production floor, or, just trying to optimize any process really, you know exactly what the biggest problem in manufacturing is today. It's shrinking profits, right? You put in the hard work, you manage your teams, but at the end of the month, those margins just keep getting thinner and thinner. Well, today, we are going to fix that. We're going to uncover the invisible profit killers hiding right in plain sight. So let me ask you a rhetorical question. Can you just, magically raise your prices today to increase your profits? Think about it. In today's highly competitive market, raising your selling price is practically impossible. Your customers are literally just a click or a phone call away from going straight to your competitor. You simply do not have the luxury of commanding a higher price whenever you feel like it. The reality of our situation is actually pretty simple. Selling price equals manufacturing cost plus profit. If the market is completely locked to your selling price, which it usually has, the absolute only way to boost your profit margin is to go on the offensive. You have to aggressively reduce your manufacturing costs. There is no other magic trick here, guys. Okay, so here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The secret to profit. 2. Types of process activities. 3. Timwoods versus downtime. 4. The 8 deadly wastes. And 5. Eliminating waste with lean. Let's dive in. Section 1. Types of process activities. So to cut costs, we first really need to understand what actually counts as work on the shop floor, because as you'll see, not all effort is created equal. Every single action your workers and machines perform falls into one of 3 buckets. First, we have value-added work. This is the gold right here. These are the actions the customer actually pays for. Basically, any process that physically changes the shape or form of the product, like machining or cooking. Second is non-value-added work. This is pure waste. The customer absolutely does not pay for you to move materials around or wait for a machine to start. This just drains your money. And third is essential non-value-added work. These are steps that don't add value, but they're absolutely necessary, like safety testing or mandatory inspections. You have to do them, but they don't increase the product's actual worth. Now prepare yourself, because the data reveals a pretty shocking statistic. In a typical traditional process, actual value-added work makes up only 15% of the total activities. That means a massive 85% is non-value-added and essential non-value-added waste. It's kind of like a bowl tied to a peg, right? Walking around in circles all day. It's moving constantly, it's burning energy, but it's doing absolutely no productive work. The big takeaway here, just because your factory is buzzing with movement does not mean it's actually productive. Section 2. Timwoods and downtime explained. So how do we systematically identify that 85% of processes that are bogged down by waste? Well, experts use 2 core frameworks. The classic framework for identifying waste is the acronym Timwoods, but a more modern arrangement you might hear is the acronym Downtime. And as you can see, they map to each other beautifully. They are literally the exact same 8 profit-killing culprits just shuffled around so you can use whichever acronym is easiest for you to remember. Moving to Section 3, the 8 deadly wastes. Let's do a rapid-fire breakdown of each of these 8 profit killers so you can start spotting them on your own factory floor immediately. Our first waste is transportation. This is the unnecessary movement of materials, parts, or products. Why does this even happen? Well, usually it's due to bad factory layouts, reverse material flow, or just missing equipment. Every single time you pick up a part and move it from one floor to another, you're adding 0 value to it. And even worse, every movement increases the risk of dropping it, scratching it, and ultimately losing money. The solution here is what I like to call the Google Maps approach. When you use a GPS, you don't take a crazy zigzag route across the city, do you? No, you ask for the shortest, most efficient path. We must do the exact same thing with our factory layouts. By streamlining the path of material flow and maybe using larger carts to carry twice the material in a single trip, you can literally have your transportation waste overnight. It's a real game changer. Okay, next up is inventory. This means holding way more raw materials, work in progress, or finished goods than you actually need right now. It is such a common trap. You might bulk buy raw steel or plastic just because the vendor offered a discount of 2 rupees per kilo. But then what happens? You end up storing it for 6 months. It takes up valuable floor space, risks rusting, and ties up all your cash flow. Trying to save 2 rupees up front often ends up costing you 4 rupees in dead stock and storage cost later. The third waste is motion. Now, while transportation is about moving materials, motion is all about the unnecessary physical movement of your workers. This happens when an operator has to walk all the way across the room just to fetch a scattered tool, or when they have to constantly bend over because their workstation is poorly designed and completely non-ergonomic. So the crucial point to remember here is fatigue. Imagine holding a simple, light glass of water with your arm stretched straight out. For 10 seconds, it's easy, but hold it for 5 minutes, your arm is going to start shaking. Fatigue destroys output. Imagine two workers of drastically different heights working at the exact same table. The tall one is hunched over, getting awful back pain, and the short one is stretching constantly just to reach things. By making a simple height adjustment to the table or giving the shorter worker a stable platform, you instantly boost their energy, their comfort, and their daily output. Waste number 4 is waiting. And this is exactly what it sounds like. It's idle time. Imagine an operator just standing around like a babuji, watching a machine run for a 10-minute cycle, maybe occasionally checking their phone. Or maybe the machine itself is waiting for the worker to find the right tools. More often than not, this is caused by unbalanced assembly lines or massive communication gaps where nobody actually knows what to produce next. Now pay close attention here, because overproduction is widely considered the most dangerous waste of all. This is when you make more products than the customer actually demands, or you make them way too early. Managers do this all the time to avoid machine setup times. They think, well, the machine's already running, let's just produce an extra 1,000 pieces. But what happens next? The customer order gets canceled or the model changes, and now you have a literal mountain of dead stock slowly rusting away in the corner. Our 6th waste is overprocessing. This means doing more work on a product than the customer actually requires, or doing it unnecessarily because your foundational tools are flawed. A perfect example of this is in plastic molding or casting. If the original molding die is worn out, the parts are going to come out with sharp edges or flashes. Instead of just repairing the die, a manager might hire 3 operators to sit there all day and manually grind those flashes off. Guys, you are paying for a process the customer didn't even ask for. The 7th waste is defects. Producing unfit materials is obviously terrible for business. But remember, defects don't just mean throwing the part away as scrap. Rework is a massive part of this waste. If a worker scratches a mobile phone screen during assembly and you have to pull them aside to buff out that scratch for 20 minutes just to make it sellable, that 20 minutes is 100% pure waste. The final waste, and the S in Timwoods, is non-utilized skills. This is failing to use the true mental, creative, or physical talents of your workforce. It's honestly a tragedy of human potential. Think about a highly educated MBA graduate who ends up having to do the basic clerical tasks of a peon just because of poor organizational structure. You are literally paying a premium for a brain you aren't even using. Section 4. Eliminating waste with lean. Now that we've exposed these 8 deadly wastes, let's look at how the absolute best companies eliminate them completely. Enter lean manufacturing. This is a brilliant, customer-driven Japanese methodology that focuses obsessively on identifying and eliminating waste to improve value. Listen, lean is not just some corporate buzzword. It is a proven, systematic weapon designed specifically to hunt down Timwoods and Downtime and absolutely destroy them on your shop floor. Your target here is very clear. You have to aggressively shrink that massive 85% non-value-added waste category we talked about earlier. By applying lean principles to reduce unnecessary movement, fix broken tools, and stop overproducing, you instantly widen your profit margins. And honestly, the best part? You do all of this without ever having to beg the customer to accept a higher selling price. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. What hidden waste are you walking past in your process every single day without even realizing it? Tomorrow, I challenge you to walk your shop floor with fresh eyes. Look for the waiting, the motion, the excess inventory. And since this is an educational explainer built right here for our YouTube community, I want you to comment down below right now. Which of the 8 wastes are you going to eliminate first? Thank you so much for watching, and